Hello everybody, this is January Class in a Box. I'm Danny from Danny Design Studio and I am sharing with you my theme for this month is all about mental wellness. It's January 2026 and for some people January is the hardest month, and it's a well-known fact now that you have a Blue Monday. Blue Monday is the third Monday in January when people feel at their lowest, and I just wanted to focus on this and how to help people around you that may be going through a difficult time, or they're in hospital, they're not feeling well at home, maybe we've got cold, flu or whatever. These little packages, care packages, are just a little pick-me-up for anybody really. And so that's why I designed it alongside these lovely Kintsugi papers. So this is the first project. You've got one of two projects. Now the first one is this bag in a box, and it has lots of things in it which I'm going to show you in a minute, but I just want to show you what I have used for this project. So the Kintsugi papers, this is what I've got left. Kintsugi Inspirations Designer Series paper. Now this is in the annual catalogue. I have just been using, this is my second video by the way. The first video I had to delete because my mic had disconnected, and so obviously I had it plugged in and then it wasn't working at all. So the whole video was nearly an hour. I had to delete. So this is my second attempt. So hopefully it will be better. So in your classes, you will receive a whole pack of the Kintsugi papers. You will receive die cuts and some other bits and pieces that I'll go through. But one of the things that I'm going to give you is this. It's an A4 piece of paper that you can put into your card or into your care package, because the papers will show this off. Kintsugi, a 15th century Japanese art form. The word literally translates to golden joinery, and it is the practice of repairing broken pottery with lacquer mixed with gold, silver or platinum. The philosophy behind Kintsugi is profound. It teaches us that breakage and repair are part of an object's history, not something to be disguised or ashamed of. Instead of hiding the cracks, the gold highlights them, making the pieces stronger and more beautiful for having been broken. It's a powerful metaphor for our own resilience. Our scars are simply proof that we have survived and grown. So true, and I love it. I saved the Kintsugi papers for January. I've had this in my mind for a while. So that is one of the things you will be given. And basically, let's have a look at the bag. The bag is huge. I call it my bucket bag, and I've got a few things in here. I'm going to show you a little bit. You know, you can get a book. I have covered it with some of the Kintsugi papers, the vase that you can cut out, and I have used Spotlight on Nature dies, so you'll get some of these dies in your pack. You'll get some of these dies just because, and I have used this the stamp set on my papers. Obviously I can't give you the stamped images, but I've given you the dies just because, to put on your little lollipop sticks, to just poke in and just, it's a bit of fun. So you get lollipop sticks as well. You can use these sayings, which is really, this is part of the set, the bundle, Inspiring Perfections, and I have used this on cards before. The sayings on that is really, really lovely. So all I've done is, I think there's something special about wrapping something up, especially if you're getting a little care package for somebody. It's the little things. You don't have to, but I just thought when somebody's not feeling great, whether physically unwell, mentally unwell, whatever, when you've wrapped it up, it just says, I've spent time on this, I care about you, or whatever. This is just a little something. I put chicken noodle soup. That's if they're not well. This is Ovaltine. And again, I'll show you how to make this in the next video. Little bottle of sort of bubble bath or something. Not sure what it is actually because I've covered it all up. This is a little pot of Vaseline for your lips, help heal dry lips. I've just wrapped a little bit of DSP around it. You are loved. Just fairly simple. You're going to get a whole load of little dies. This I will be showing you how to use, to make rather, and it's called a matchstick box filled with tea. And bit of fun, just because you're so lovely. Paracetamol. I thought that was, somebody who gets that will just think, how sweet. Somebody has thought of me. Just going to pop it all back, take it out of the way for a minute, and then we can get started. So I've pre-cut some of my papers. You need to choose 2 papers that are exactly the same, and then something that is coordinating with it for your pocket. So just look on the back side of the main papers of the bag to see whether you like that, and then coordinate the handles to go with that. So you need to have a look at your papers and see what you would like to do. So I'm going to take 2 papers, making sure that they're in the same direction because I'm going to cut these. Doing my cutting and scoring now. So let's get my trimmer out. And right, so making sure that it's going to be this way. So that is my, if I did have a pattern, it doesn't matter with this one, but if you did choose a patterned paper, the direction is downwards. Now this is the bottom of my bag, that is the top of my bag. I'm just going to turn it round. I want it in that direction, so I'm going to cut 2 inches off. So at 10 inches, make sure they're both together. Cut 2 inches. So that is going to be a strengthener part on my bag, and then I'm going to cut another 2 inches. So at 8 inches, I'm going to cut, making sure they're both together. Just give it a little shimmy. Okay, so that is your bag. We'll put that aside. This one, you just want to cut to 1.5. These are your handles. So make sure they're together. I might just have to do it separately. So 1.5, cut 1.5, cut, and then I might as well, as I've got it out, I might as well score it. So take the cutter out the way, score it, and then score it again at 3, so another 1.5, just lightly, because that one is a guide to where you put your glue. Turn it the other way, 3, I should have said 1.5 first, sorry, 1.5 and then 3. So that is the thinner one of these are my handles. So scoring 1.5 and then 3, sort of a lighter score because that is my guide. It makes sense in a minute when I do it. And then 3. So there we go. Okay, so let us do the box. Basically at the bottom, that's what it's called, bag in a box, is a box, and you're going to fit the paper around it. So this is 9x6, that's the card base, and score on all 4 sides. That's wrong, that should say 4 sides, all 4 sides at 1 inch. Okay, if I put that there, just better correct it, 4 sides. Okay, so I have done that already, and then I'm going to crease it really well, especially the long side. I find the long side in the middle will hold its shape better if you crease it. Now in your box, I think I've given you Misty Moonlight, so it's based on the original bag I did, either blue papers or the sort of flowery papers. This I wanted to do white because I've chosen the white papers. This is thick white cardstock, not the thin one. So then you end up with these 4 little squares. You're going to cut up this score line. If you made a box before, you know the drill. Cut up those and mitre or put a little wedge in so that it will look nice when you put it together. And then use a strong glue if you want tear and tape, or Seal Plus for 3D boxes. That is good, but I like Tombow. Just going to give this a little, the lengthwise a little bit of burnish again. So then I'm going to put glue on the first little square bit that I've cut, and then I'm going to take it so that I get a nice crease there, and wait a few seconds. Same on this side. And just make sure you've waited that few seconds, because sometimes I haven't and it's slipped slightly. But if you're a confident crafter, you'll want to do just the tape. I don't feel so confident. All this is what I'm used to, and I like Tombow because I think it's strong. It's strong for 3D projects. Okay, so box is done. You might be tempted to do a little bit of a higher box, but if you're moulding it round, the higher the box you get a little bit of a gap, so it's best to keep it just to 1 inch. That's all you need. So now I take one piece of my DSP. Now I'm going to take it, I've trialed this so many ways, sometimes I've kept this flat, it doesn't work for me. I have to put it upright, mould the paper round, take it so that it's on the short side, sort of halfway or just over. It's going to overlap, so I've used, this is why this is in imperial measurements, it's in inches, because I want to use the whole paper. The metric, if I cut it down to 30 by 30 instead of 30.5 by 30.5, the measurements are not as kind. Inches are kinder and easier, and that's what I prefer. So I'm going to mould it round the corner, so I get a little bit of a crease, then travel down and then mould it round the other corner. I've got my finger here, bring it right to the edge and mould. You're just creating a crease at the moment, so I'm just going to take it off the box, creating that crease. So then tear and tape is your new friend. Tear and tape right down the bottom, right down the base of this, put that on. Then don't take it off completely. Right, what side am I going to go on? I'm going to take the right hand side off just a little bit to that crease. Take my box. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold my sheet of paper. This is the base. I'm going to hold my box, pop it on, making sure where is the little crease that I made. So I'm going to pop it on right to the bottom of the bag and slide my finger along. Next bit, I haven't taken the tear and tape off, I am just poking that out, that little tab. So then I'm going to position it. This bit needs to be tight, holding this and this bit, this far end, my right hand thumb is going to be tight over it, okay, and then with my, I'm going to hold that there with my left hand, and then with that I'm going to undo it and then put my finger across. I would practice with old scrap paper first because it's a little bit fiddly, and then you've got the last bit, so you're going to take that off and then I'm going to just hover it over where I want it, and then when I'm happy I'm going to stick it down. So that's one side done. Then the other side, making sure that my paper is the right way, so I'm happy with that. So that is the base of my paper. So again, I will do this, put the tear and tape at the bottom, off, and then don't take all of it off, and just, you can either put this on after you've done the moulding. So I'm going to take it again, take one end, take my paper, going to overlap it a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch. It's going to overlap at the other end, you'll have plenty, that's why I haven't cut any. So I'm then just going to mould it again, creating that crease as my guide, then holding it. I haven't stuck anything yet, so I'm creating the crease, pushing that. Once you've done a few of these, you'll get the hang of it and you'll love it, because it's a really large box that I've created. So and then you've got a great big overlap. So that is your guide. I'm just going to just crease that a little bit more, so it helps me to see what I've done. So put this on its side. I'm going to, hold on. Right, let's take some of this off. Take some of that off to my crease that you probably can't see, but I can see. Right, then I'm ready. You are in charge of this. So I'm going to overlap it about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to hover it over where I think it should go, and then when I'm happy, bring it down. And I'd already taken that sticky off. Then I haven't taken any of the sticky off. I'm just going to hold it and really push it taut over this side of the box. Then for me, I'm going to hold it with that hand, not holding it right down, because as I take this off, I don't really want to stick it down until I'm ready. So I'm just holding it down, but there's a little bit of a gap here. So then I'm going to take it off, and then when I am ready, slide my finger along until it's over that corner, bring it to the other side, bring it down. It's going to overlap. When I'm ready, I'm going to take that off, and it's going to be flush against the bottom. So give it a little slide with your finger, making sure it is all ready. So that's what it should look like. Now we need to do the sides. So for me, it's going to be like this. Okay, so in order for it to be flush, it's going to come out a little bit as a curve. So for me, I use Tombow. Now I'm going to put my glue in here, and then take that up, and then see what the natural way that it falls. Don't overlap it too much, just see how the shape forms and just follow it naturally, and gliding my finger on that. I don't know how you would do that if you use tear and tape. I wouldn't even attempt to do that, because I know I'd be in a sticky mess. So same on the other side. I'm going to put it on underneath, oops, and then I prefer working from here, so I'm going to put my hand inside, and then I'm going to just let it come out naturally, and gliding my finger along until it's dry, basically, and then you have got your bag. Sort of, it's an oval shape, which I think's really, you can see, that's why I call it a bucket bag. Right, so you're strengthening the top bits and not the scored pieces. Yeah, just checking. Don't take the scored pieces. I'm taking the unscored pieces, and now I'm just going to fold it in half, but I'm just going to, should be 1 inch. I'm using the blue side, so I'm just going to fold that Not sure why, but you won't actually see that it's not completely folded properly. It must be the way I cut, because it just never seems to match. Never mind. So I'm going to take that and fold it over. And then what I do is take it with your bone folder, just give it a little slide with your bone folder to shape it, because it's going to go around the top of the bag. Same with the other side. And then you're ready. Basically what it's going to do is going to go on to there and mould around there, just so that it gives it a little strengthen at the top. And I'm going to do that, yes, you guessed it, Tombow. And then that, I'm going to start here at the side, and then it's just going to come round come round, right, glide your finger over. And what I should have said is just cut this a little bit, because that one is going to go over and you don't want that. The other one that we're doing, just going to take a little bit smidge off there, because you'll find that when you put the other one on, you don't want that overhanging, and it might do, but it doesn't matter. But that's what I have found to be helpful. Right, more glue. And take that, take my bag, mould it around. Should fit quite nicely on, and then you've got a little bit of a, so while it's still wet, put your finger at the top, mould it around the top so it fits snugly. You are going to get a little bit of ruffles, but you can iron them out as much as you can. You find the ruffles are inside rather than the outside. So that is the top of your bag. Right, so next step is to do the handles. So this is your handles. Now what I'm going to do is take the cutter right out of the way. So between the second score line down and the second score line up, I'm just going to put a scoring line in the middle, which is 3/4. So 3/4. Don't use the cutter. So that's my guide for that. Same again, 3/4. That's my second score line and the second score line from the bottom. Just going to do a score line at 3/4 of an inch That will help me to make my handles. So while it's in this flat position, I'm going to take my little corner rounder, take that one, just this is your handles that are going to be flush on your bag, and just rounding the corners. You could, if you haven't got a corner rounder, just take something and do it freehand if you want, or draw around something. Right, so then I have got the score line in the middle and 2 score lines at the side. Now I'm going to pop the score line in the middle down to that first score line. That is what is going to be glued, and then this bit at the bottom is going to be glued, that area is going to be glued to the side of your bag. So bring that up, and so all I'm doing is putting glue. I just put that score line in as a guide for me to glue, because I found, I've done this bag a few times and I've realised if you go right to the bottom, it doesn't sit nicely on the side of the bag. So believe me, I have used lots of scraps of DSP, trial and error, but it helps me. It doesn't matter that it's got a little, you're not really going to see that because you're going to put it to the inside. So I've got something that looks like that. Let's put this on the top. So then, last thing to do is this is going to go this way. So I'm just going to, actually I'm going to put it that way. So I'm going to put my bone folder, and give it a little bit of a curve, just in that middle bit, so you can see how that's going to go on. So that's one. Then the second one in exactly the same way. I either don't measure things properly, didn't think I was like that, but it never seems to match. You might find the same, hope you do. There's not just me, but I've found that it doesn't really matter. So then that's my guide. This is going to go upwards, going to go flush against the bag. That's going to go up. So all I'm doing is putting glue on this middle section, only up to that inner score line, and then I've got far too much glue on there. It's going to all pop out. I need a scrap to get rid of that. Then bring that down. Like that. So one handle's going to go that way, that handle is going to go this way. So I'm going to go like that. But I don't like that way because I can see that, so I'm going to have to do it that way. I'm going to turn it the other way. That's better. Okay, my bag, you can see it's just going to go in the middle somewhere where you feel happiest. So my glue is going to go on this one, just on that area here. Have both hands, be the master of this. Where would you like it to go? Just in your mind, I'm going to have it like that, equal sort of, it's just eyeballing it and just seeing what you think. Once you position one on, you're going to position the other one on, and it's making sure it's sort of the same sort of level. You'll find that this bag is actually really strong. I've used it a few times now since I made it, and you don't realise how strong it actually is. It's amazing. These handles are really good, and if you're using a good strong glue, I would still always hold it from the bottom as well, just in case. So that's that side. Then whatever you've done that side, you're going to do this side. Everybody's will be slightly different in that sense. So I'm memorised how much I went down, and I put one on, and then wherever that is, I'm going to put the next little tab on. So just make sure that this is dry, obviously. Holding it down until I'm happy. What you can do is, you know, decorate it as you wish, this bag. You know, if it was a flowery paper, you did it in different papers, you could put a little flower on there and a gem or something like that. It's just different things that you can do. I mean, it doesn't really warrant that sort of thing with this. Could put a nice little gem on there, but that is your bag in a nutshell. So then, let's wait for that to dry. You're going to do your side pocket. So I want it in a coordinating colour, and that is a paper that's 5.5 by 4 1/4, that is. Then you're going to score on all three sides at 1/2 inch. This is for the pocket, so I've done that already. I'm going to burnish this. And then I'm just going to cut a little square bit, that corner, just going to cut across, and that side. And then with this, I don't want it tight against the bag. I want a little bit of a loop, you know, a little curve. So I'm just gonna, with my bone folder, curve it slightly on both sides, so that you can get your card in and you can get what I've got a lollipop in. So with this, I am doing tear and tape. So I'm doing it to this edge, the tear and tape, rather than that other edge. And then don't take all of this top bit off, just take a bit of it. Now I'm just thinking I'm going to take this bit, fold it back, fold it back, and then this bit. Because then you can, as you pop it on, this bit is going to be, the base of it is going to be on first, and then you can slide your finger up so that it doesn't cause a ruckage. Right, I'm going to put this as my front. I'll put it on its side, see where I would like it. Don't want it too high up because you remember you've got your card and you've got your lollipop. So I'm going to put it down here, sort of central in the middle, but lower down. So pop it when you pop it on, hover over it till you're ready, and then you just remember you just glued a little bit. And then this has been glued. So when you're ready, you can pop that off, and then that off, and then this off, and then put your finger, slide it along. So you've created a pocket, but not flush against the side. You've still got a bit of space in there to put your card. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is our little lollipop. So I have got two lollipop sticks. That's what you will get in your little class in a box, and that has come from Spotlight on Nature Dies. So lollipop, that, and what you will also get, there it is. Oh, everything goes right. So you've got these dies in your little bag box, class in a box. So they come separately, and then you just need to glue it together. So just because, and then you can write, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, tiny bit of dots, and then you can pick it up either with your tweezers or pop it on to the paper just to highlight the word. I've lost the dot, so that's my words, and then I am going to put something else on it, but I don't know what. I would probably put on, just because you're a great friend, it's your birthday, you've been on my mind, I think you're amazing. One of those I would put on, but you can figure that out, and I'm going to stick these on first. So remember that if you want something down there just because, and you want a sentiment, just to leave a little space. So you are only going to glue the main bit that's going to stick on the top, and then this bit, I'm just going to stick this bit in the middle. It's so difficult with that J in it. You'll have to go down a bit. There we go. Okay, once you've got the rest of your sentiment on, you can turn it round, put your lollipop stick, get your tear and tape, I'm going to put my tear and tape on the top bit, lay it flat, and then see where that goes best. I want it at an angle, so I'm going to pop it like that, and then turn it round. Make sure, I'm going to just put another one on, just because I don't want it to move. You don't want this coming off. So then I've got another one of the Spotlight on Nature dies, exactly the same size. Pop that with dimensionals so that it will, the dimensionals are not around where the lollipop is, and then pop that on the top, and then that is your lollipop's going to go on the side. And you can put some gems or something. So then the last bit is the card. White card, 4x8, score on the long side at 4 inches. DSP, I've chosen the same DSP, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then I've got another one of these lovely dies, and then I've got a selection. I've used the dies that come from the Just Because stamp set and dies. So I've used that one to I Think You're Amazing, and I've got these lovely little vases. I'm going to put this flat onto the card, and then I'm going to put that flat and that flat actually with wet glue. So just position it, and then that alongside. And this one is probably going to go there, but I'm going to raise that up with some dimensionals. And that's going to go there, and then that I've raised up as well. That's going to go, yep, there. So just a very simple card that I can cut this up and put one of these inside the card, and that is for somebody who is finding it difficult. The card won't go, and you don't want something that's too bulky for the card. You want it to, I wanted to pop it up. I wanted people to see that there is a card there, because otherwise it might get missed. And then if you want, you could put a little ribbon around it, like I did with the other project I did. Put little ribbon around that one. So you could do that. I'm going to be showing you how to do the pocket one next. So this is the first video, and I'm going to show you how to do the loaded pocket one next. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining me.